Welcome back. Once again, it's that time of the game when mums get the kettle out and Dad gets in front of the kitchen table and the kids are all out having their brekkie because it's time for that very popular segment we have every Saturday morning, and it's called Dale's Under-18 segment. And here he is, Dale Smith.
Thank you very much, Dick. And look, another interesting round of football at the junior level. I suppose, some upsets, but as I said, things change in football, and it's just good to see that sometimes spending a little bit more time with their junior program now and getting some results. And out at Thompson, the Thompson side beat Belpost Hill. Probably the first time they've done that in a long, long time at junior level. 44-point winners to the Thompson side. Goals 4 to Yeh and 2 to McFarlane. And their best players were McFarlane, Hodgson and Clark. For Belpost Hill, Jay Mowat and R. Isaacs both kicked 2. Sulix, Cossair and Smith were their better players. Belmont Lions, winners in the first round, but this week East Geelong have had their first win after going down to Werribee last week, so their form is not too bad at all. So 43-point winners to East Geelong, and the goals to East, Elliott got 3, Tresize, Irwin and Nolan 2 each. Best players, Ververs, Elliott and Bowman. Now, Ververs was a good player last year and obviously started the season very well this year. Out for the Belmont Lions, goals to Hunt, Ellis and Williams, the 3 goal kickers there. Best players, Straw, Williams and Shea were their better players. Out at Dick's home ground, the North Geelong boys, a bit too strong for the Corio Devils, which is probably not a surprise, but the margin was a bit of a surprise to me after Corio dealt us a pretty heavy blow in the first round. But North Geelong, 78-point winners. Kingwell kicked 6, Kenyon 4, Ricketts 2. Their best, Kingwell, Short and Pacholki, I think the name is. So I apologise if that's incorrect. The goals for the Corio side, Achiri with 2. Their better players were Marshall, Hastings and Achiri. Down at the Duck Pond, Dick, Werribee Central, 75-point winners over Inverleigh. Again, some familiar names here. And DeCampi was 7, Steele, Gamble and Camilleri all kicking 3. So they were regular players last year. Better players, DeCampi, Gamble and Ellis. And for the Inverleigh side, Manganelli and McConaughey both got 2 goals each. And best players were Saxack, I think his name is. I apologise again. Brown and Manganelli. The last 2 results we've got was Winchelsea and Bannockburn both had byes due to Anarchy and Geelong West not being able to field sides in both that competition. We actually went across to just had a bit of a scratch match against Winchelsea because that was their first run for the year. So they've got numbers up this year, which is excellent. And I also apologise because Cogs was in during the week and an under-18, under-14 game, I think, on a Sunday morning he came in and saw me. And one of the young kids there kicked 13 goals 6, I think, Dick. I just can't remember the kid's name now. I had it written on a bit of paper, but could not find it this morning.
Phil Pott was his name?
No, it wasn't a Phil Pott. Okay, but look, a great effort from the young kid getting 13 goals 6. I had 12 goals 6 it might have been. But look, to have 18 or 19 shots at goal is just a sensational effort, and they won quite easily. So I'll get that name next week and have it here for you again, but we'll make sure we get it through, Dick. Absolutely,
that's fantastic. In any competition to boot a bag full like that. Well, we're full of surprises this morning because we've got another new segment coming up now. Cal Lowther presents Raiders Roast.
We have Matt Murphy here to do the Raiders Roast. Matt, first up, what's your nickname?
Murph, mate.
What's your favourite footballing memory?
Favourite footballing memory would have to be probably first senior game with St Joey's Footy Club. Played against St Albans and had Ricky O'Toole under me.
Yep.
Got me through the game. I've actually kicked a few goals, so it was great. Yeah, it was fantastic.
Who's your favourite all-time VFL/AFL player?
Well, I'd be James Hird, mate, by a mile.
Yeah. If you had $10, what would you spend it on?
I'd probably buy Forbesy some new shoes, so he's pretty ordinary with his dress sense.
Who's the funniest player at the club?
The funniest player would have to be John the Fritz Tate. He's he's just a classic kind of guy. Yeah, he's fantastic.
Who has the biggest ego at the club?
Biggest ego? You've got me there, mate. I don't know. Biggest ego? Scott Mills for sure.
Yeah. Who's your favourite band at the moment and of all time?
Favourite band? You put me under the pump here, mate. I like me Jack Johnson, so I'd go with him. And favourite band of all time would have to be AC/DC. Yeah.
And if you had 3 people to take to dinner, who would they be?
It'd be Mike Tyson, Homer Simpson, and probably I'd sneak in Marcus Forbes just because he's a quality guy, and I just want to see those shoes that I bought him.
Matty Murphy, thanks for doing Raiders Roast with us.
No worries, Carl.
We'll have another edition of Raiders Roast again next week. And I must admit, Dale, I was a bit disappointed. I thought Raiders Roast meant someone was coming in the studio to feed us, but that's okay. We'll get a sausage roll on the way home this morning. A low-calorie one, of course. This afternoon, it's on again. It's a fantastic match of the day. It's the 94.7 match of the day. You can hear it, of course, 1:30 this afternoon on 94.7. It's the Bellpost Hill Panthers out of the Ring Road Recreation Reserve. They take on the East Geelong, great flag favourites earlier in the season, and it'll be a magnificent game indeed. Dale, you'll be looking forward to this one.
Yes, we will. This will be their first opportunity to have a look at East Geelong, and after last week's loss to the Belmont Lions, they'll be looking to turn that around very quickly. And if I just probably take you back about 12 months ago, we went up there and it was interesting because East Geelong took it up to Bellpost Hill up there and actually beat them on their home ground, so it was a great win by them. Scroblack was excellent that day. Look, they've got a couple of good inclusions into the side this year. Obviously, the player in Gloucester is obviously running around kicking goals week in, week out. And a couple of the young kids in Hayter have come into the side, and Highlight's another one from outside that's come into the side. So they've got that extra bit of run in their side. It's going to be a very good game. But on Bellpost Hill positive side, as I said earlier in the show, they probably never really looked like they were going to win last week, but they kept persisting. They got their run, and the last 4 or 5 minutes, 10 minutes of each quarter, they sort of overhauled Thompson a bit, so there might be a little bit of fitness out there with Thompson at the present stage. But Sean Lewis never had a big influence last week. There was 2 or 3 other players down for Bellpost Hill, so they've got those players to come back. Kavka was excellent last week, really turned the game around when he went to the centre of the ground, and along with him and Gurgic up forward, I think they kicked 8 goals between them, so that's a great start for them. And if those two blokes can succeed in getting a few more goals down forward, it'll definitely make it hard for the East Geelong backline.
Oh, great.
Jake, your first trip out to the Ring Road, and I've got to tell you, on a winter's day, it's not real flashy out there, and of course the way the weather's been the last couple of days with a bit of wind around, you want to rug yourself up pretty tightly. But I can tell you that normally if the ground has chewed up a bit, it certainly does bring both sides down to an even keel. I don't think it's that bad at the moment, but are East Geelong capable of playing in any condition, you believe?
Oh, definitely. They're a very good side, and as I said at the start of the year, I actually thought that they might be a really red-hot go for the flag, but yeah, no, I've been out to Bellpost Hill a few times, so it was nice weather with the other previous occasions I've been out there, so hopefully it's like that today. As for the game, I think Bellpost Hill, obviously at home, are a very hard side to beat. They were pretty lucky last week, to be honest. They did win, but I reckon Thompson were the better side, and they just got the run of the mill in the last sort of end of the second and third quarters, as Dale said, and then the last quarter, against the flow of the game, they were able to kick a few goals. So they'll be thinking that they can definitely improve on last week's game, and out at Bellpost Hill, I think they might just do the job on East Geelong.
Dale, what's the margin going to be at the end of the day?
Yeah, I'm not too sure, Dick. As I said, just going back, Bellpost Hill, they played with 17 men during the third quarter. They came out just on half-time, and Gregig was sent from the ground, and I'm not too sure what the reason was for. And then they got to the stage where they lost a player early in the game, and Pisano from St Mary's, and he never took any part of it. So they played with basically the one short on the bench. And in today's football, as we know, with the rotation system, that's a big effort. So look, I was pretty impressed with Bellpost Hill. As I said, you never gave them a chance, but they kept hanging in there. I think the home ground advantage, it's going to sway them a bit. They just maybe a little bit small. I reckon tight margin. Bellpost Hill 8 points.
8 points. How many points, Jake?
I reckon Bellpost Hill by about 4 or 5 goals. I think East Geelong are a pretty good side, and they might even come out and beat them today. But as I said, Bellpost Hill usually too strong at home, and as I said, they've got a lot to work on from last week, even though they won.
Yes, indeed. 18-point winners for me too at Bellpost Hill. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll talk about the rest of the games on this afternoon. Back over to you.